All right. Good morning, everyone. Brad Roltgen here with the Fresno Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Investors Group. Today, we are talking about the various ways that we're investing in crypto. It wasn't that long ago when all we could do is buy a coin on an exchange, either hold it there or transfer it to an Exodus wallet or a cold storage wallet, that kind of thing. But now we've got ETFs, we've got companies that are 100% in on crypto, either like the Bitmine for Ethereum or Strategy, which used to be MicroStrategies on the Bitcoin side. So a number of different ways to do it. One of the ways Steve was doing it, since Steve, you're kind of limited on time, jump in and tell us how you're investing in crypto, that most recent way you've uh, working it and it's to good result, it sounds like.
Yeah. So for sure, I've seen the momentum of Ethereum, right? So, I mean, that's just been obvious for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. It's just been going like gangbusters. So I pivoted into Bitmine and I own it. I own the stock and itself. And then I own a couple of Bitmine options. And so I bought them far enough out. The options I bought like 4 or 6 months out. I'm going to get interrupted right here just for a second, guys. I'm waiting to get into a building. How you doing, sir? I am supposed to give an estimate here at 9:30, and so I'm going to meet the guy. His name's Ralph. Okay. And I'm waiting for him to kind of let me in the gate. Perfect. And so, yeah. Thanks a lot. All right, you got it. Thanks. Perfect timing. Sorry about that. So I've invested in Bitmine in this just ownership of it straight, and then also in options. And the options, because for those of you who've never done an option, Michael helped me out a bunch actually, and so did Lino. An option, you control 100 shares, right? You don't own it, but you get a chance to control it, and you get a chance to buy it if you want to. So I bought them 4 or 5 months out in the future, and they're just going like gangbusters. It's like crazy. And even when Ethereum takes a little dip in price, I'm still up enough that I just ride it out, and I know Ethereum's going to come back. I did rotate, out of all honesty and transparency, I did rotate a little bit out of crypto. I still am primary owner of Bitcoin. Second is now Ethereum, and third is XRP. I'm holding on to my heavyweights, and I still have some others also, Solana and Sui, and a couple of even Algorand type coins. But I did cut my losses on some coins that I felt like they were not making quite the comeback that the big guys were doing. I rotated that money directly into the stock market because I have been making more money in the stock market than I have in crypto. Now, as soon as Bitcoin really sets its new record and things start going next level, I know that crypto is going to catch up. But for temporarily, I rotated out, and I have been investing there. And this is a crypto club, but I'll tell you, I've been investing in quantum computing, and those stocks are just like really going crazy. And so that's just been what I've been doing, and still actually added to my Bitcoin position about 2 weeks ago. Not that much, but added in a couple of grand in my Bitcoin position, and want to keep growing that because I believe now I don't believe, and I'd like to hear from everybody else. I don't think we're going to hit 200,000 by the end of the year, but I think we're going to set new records and at least be in the 135, 140 range, something like that, and with the potential of going higher. So that's what I've been doing, Brad.
Okay, and just to clarify on those options, you're getting those through a regular brokerage account.
Yeah,
Nothing,
I'm getting through Robinhood. Through
Robinhood.
Robinhood.
Okay.
Robinhood's very easy on how to understand how they do options. And once you get signed up you have to watch a couple of videos. You can get signed up for options in Robinhood. And they're, if you've never done options, they are certainly risky. So you have to kind of monitor them. I would say, a couple times a day, because you could have the rug pulled out from underneath you. But in my case, mine are mostly Ethereum based, and I know that Ethereum's not going to ratchet back, 25% overnight. I'll see that coming. I can make a decision whether to get out. But yeah, going right through Robinhood, and
Okay.
which is where I buy everything now. All my stocks. Well, actually, a portion of my crypto and the rest of my crypto is still Coinbase. So,
Okay, good. Good to know on that.
If
Michael,
I
you
could
want
just
to throw anything else in since you're on that options and equities as well?
Did you
Yeah.
ask me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, first let me just say that let me say this about that famous president. Anyhow, uh, when Steve was talking about 200K Thursday, I believe it was, uh, Citibank came out. Their crypto guy came out, said he believes that Bitcoin will be around 135,000 at year end this year, and 200,000 by the end of next year. Just FYI. When it comes to options, Steve is right. They are very volatile. They're great leverage. You can really take a small amount of money and leverage a large amount of stock. But you have to remember several things. One, they're finite, and they have a finite amount of time depending upon how far that you go out. You can go out a few weeks, a week, a few months, or even a few years. Those are called leaps. And but the thing is that you also have to worry about time. As you continue as the clock continues to tick, those will lose an intrinsic value of time. And so something you need to be aware of. I do not recommend options for people who really don't, who are risk adverse and are not willing to lose that entire investment, because many times you can. But you can make a lot more money percentage wise that you can on just the stock itself. But I recommend that you really understand the game before you get into it, because it is risky, but the rewards can be pretty fantastic. I had an option once that was worth $125 Thursday night, and then when I woke up the next morning, and that was the final day, that Friday, they were worth $1,800. So I went to bed thinking, okay, well, maybe I can scramble 100 or 50 bucks out of it tomorrow. And then the stock jumped up like 30 points or something. And so those were worth 1,800. That's the one and only time in my entire career I've been in the stock market since 1982. So let that sink in for a second, a long time. So I've seen and learned a lot over the years and experienced a lot of pain and a lot of money. But keep in mind, it can be like that the other way too. It could be worth 1,500 bucks, and then the next day the stock drops 30 points and it's worth $1 if you're lucky.
Yeah. So on that
So,
one, were you able to sell it that day?
yeah, my broker actually called me. He actually called me and said, "You're going to sell this, man."
ah,
Because we were friends as well. And so he says, "Have you seen it?" And I go, we didn't have cell phones and things like that. So I had to rely on the old CNBC, where it was actually not called CNBC then, it was called FNN, Financial News Network.
Oh, that
And that's
was a
all I
long
rely
time
on.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they had dinosaurs still roaming the earth around that time, Brad. So,
that's
but
funny.
yeah, I
Michael,
was fortunate to sell it, but that is not normally how it goes. Normally
Michael,
don't
you
get.
reminded me. You reminded me. So I try to stay out of the hyper volatile stuff for options. Like for instance, about 3 months ago, Michael, you helped me on this one. I got in some circle options. Well, I made about $700. I bought a short-term option, and I was very new at it. Michael walked me through it. I bought a short-term option, like it's going to expire in 3 weeks, and it wasn't a ton of money, and I made about $700. And I thought, Yahoo, this is my new thing, right? So stupid. So I bought two more circle options, same time frame. I wasn't, like Michael just talked about how as your expiration date approaches, you can lose that thing can go under really quick at that moment. And so Circle was too volatile. Circle took a dive, and I lost both of those options, probably a net total of about $2,000. And I thought, oh crap, I can't do this. So I went from an emotional high. I made $700, and then I lost $2,000. And I thought, I can't dabble with these hyper volatile. Circle was too volatile for me in the options market. But then I started doing well when I started pacing myself something with more like Ethereum based Bitmine. That one's been doing real well, and nothing super staggering. No overnight $1,800 deals like Mike just described, but definitely going up. I see days where that option goes up $200 or $300, and then it'll settle back down $150. Then it goes back up $400. So I've been happy with the Ethereum based ones because I feel like, yes, they are volatile, but not quite at the Circle level. Anyway, that's my story.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Looks like Ray joined us. Welcome. Welcome, Ray. Anybody else want to jump in? There he is, live and in person. All
I
right.
just have,
Yeah, good
yeah, I just
morning.
have a,
Well, go ahead, Gabe.
yeah, I just have a question for Michael. Michael, you've been trading since 1982 as a trader, or just, is that
Uh,
correct?
just as well, I started, the Dow was literally 865. It was 3 digits, 865. Now it's 45,000. So yeah, I haven't been I'm more of a trading investor, if that makes sense. So you normally trading, you're in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've been buying and selling stocks since that time. And sometimes have been really horrific, and other times have been really great. We're in the middle of we're starting basically year three of a bull market, so it's not really that difficult to make money right now.
Mhm.
But like Steve was saying, if you get caught in something, especially something that's new, Circle was a brand new stock, an IPO. And I don't necessarily mess around with things like that just because I know there's significant volatility.
And what platform are you using for trading?
I use Fidelity and Schwab. I started off years ago on E-Trade. And before that, I traded, it was different. It was, I traded through a brokerage called Call and Company a long time ago. I don't think they're around anymore. And this is so long ago, they used to have an open phone line to LA, to the trading desk that they had there. So they had an open phone line. They would just pick it up and say, all right, we want to make this trade. And then, I mean, they did it by phone. And now, now a couple of weeks ago, I went out to have coffee with a friend of mine, and he went to get his coffee. And while he was gone, I went and bought some more I don't know, I bought another stock or something. But in the time that he was gone, he wasn't even gone 3 minutes. And so it's quite different now.
Yeah, just like to add, like you said, you're an investor trader. Well, an investor is a trader, and a trader is an investor. So just to
Well, I
make
mean, typically an investor, Warren Buffett is an investor.
yeah.
Okay. Warren Buffett is a true investor. Someone like that will buy and hold. The only thing I've held for longer than 2 years is NVIDIA, and everybody understands why that is. I mean, I have a cost basis of NVIDIA of like $25, and I think it's $188 now. So I've made a huge amount of money on NVIDIA. But most of the other things that I have, I'm only in it for a few months, or it just depends. Sometimes I'm playing an earnings. Earlier this year, I was playing applied materials, and they had a great January, and it jumped up like 25 or $35 over a few days. And then once it got up to a point and lost a few points, I was out of it. And I made 30 or 40% in a week or two, and I was out. So that's just how I do it sometimes. A lot of other things that I own, I mean, I've had Robinhood. I've owned Robinhood for months and months. I owned Shake Shack for quite a long time. Reddit. I've owned Reddit for quite a while, and all of those have done really well. Shake Shack lost some stuff on me. I cut out of that, but the other ones have done well. So uh, you could also say I'm probably a bit of a momentum trader. If a stock has momentum, I like that.
Yeah,
But
Michael,
the
have you?
great thing is today, last thing, if I can, the great thing today is that most of these stocks, it's not like the dot-com era where I made a lot and lost even more. All these stocks have real earnings.
Okay. Have you tried the same strategy with crypto coins?
There's a Solano. I don't know if it's a Solano ETF, but there's a Solano thing that you can trade, and XXRP is what it's called.
Okay.
And those, and also the Ethereum. Those ones I do trade in and out, depending upon where it's going. I'm in all of those now, right now. But my Bitcoin, my IBIT, which is the BlackRock stuff,
Right.
once I bought that in January of 2024,
Yeah.
the only thing I've done is add to that over the last year and a half. I haven't
Okay.
sold. I'm all in Bitcoin. I'm just going to let it ride because one day we're going to wake up and that thing's going to be up $20,000.
Exactly.
I don't want to
Exactly.
miss
Yep.
that day.
Right.
Agreed.
So you are kind of doing the same strategy with crypto, but through the ETFs.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. I don't buy and sell any live crypto.
okay.
I have Solano and Bitcoin, and I've had those for quite a while. I mean, I looked at my Bitcoin this morning, and I think I was up 630% on that. And then the Solano is up like 450%. My Solano I bought in the 40s. And
Yeah.
then Bitcoin
So
I own in the $19,000 range.
without getting too personal, is there a reason why you don't do the same thing with that you're doing through the ETFs with XRP and Solana?
Well, there is an equity or a stock that's called XXRP, I believe. And that is, I don't think they're an official ETF, but it follows XRP. And I'll share that with you. I'll look it up and put it in the notes here or in the
The
yeah,
comments? Okay. Yeah,
I
and I'll
think it's
paste the
XXRP. And so I do trade that. That is something that I do. Let me find those for you real quick here. Give me just a second here. But the
okay.
other one is Solano. It's SOL something here. Here we are. Um, so you have Solano is SOLT. It says it's a 2 times Solano ETF.
Mhm.
SOLT is in Tom?
Yeah, Sam, Oscar, Lino, Tom.
Got it. Okay.
And then the other one is XXRP. And that is a 2 time. Now, these are both 2 times. Okay. These are also a little bit like the options, except for they don't expire. So if it goes up $1, these go up twice that. If
Okay.
it goes down $1, these go down twice that. So I've had some not very pretty days, and then some other days that are just gorgeous. So, but that's the nature of this. I own a number of the 2X and 3X ETFs for for Broadcom and Apple and Amazon and Micron, AMD. And so when you're in a bull market, it makes sense to do that. If we were in a bear market or in a sideways market, I probably wouldn't own those.
Right, right. So you're a believer that things are going up on those, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about all the things that we have going. Same thing with Bitcoin or
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies in general. I mean, we're cutting rates. You've got a government that is completely pro business. It's pro crypto. We've got a crypto king in there now, or a crypto wizard dude that's
Yeah.
all pro that. You don't have that crazy treasury guy that hated crypto, right?
Right.
So you're and like I said, we're cutting rates. So the only thing that really happened, there's never been a recession when the Fed was cutting rates in U.S. history. So there's not going to be a recession, and things may slow down, and they are slowing down for a lot of people. But I still see good things ahead. I can see 135 by the end of the year on Bitcoin. That's heck, that's only 15,000 from here.
Yeah, it
And
seems
we
like a
all know that the
no-brainer.
fourth quarter is always the crazy quarter for Bitcoin,
Yeah, yeah.
the crazy up quarter.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Hey, Anthony, good morning. Glad to have you here. Gabe, were you going to jump in with a question or comment? I did.
Yeah, Gabe, did I answer your questions?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. No, you
Okay.
you fulfilled it. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Cool, cool. Okay. Hey, Ray, yeah, did you have a question or comment or tell us how you're making money, making millions?
I wish. My fast story. I'm here because I'm such a noob who's had his head under a rock for decades, despite being in my low 60s. Vanguard, exchange the funds for targeted retirement for years and years. Just a couple of Tesla and Apple that was bought when it was a bit high in Vanguard. And then I put all of $20,000 into Coinbase. I don't know, 3 years when it was high, when it was in the 70s, and then took a dip.
Mm,
So it sat there for 3 years or whatever, and now it's coming back.
good.
And I think my bigger confidence has been real estate. I've got Bay Area connections, and I first got on your mailing list a few years ago when I was living in Lemoore for a period of time, and
Okay.
that. So that's my lazy money story would be a way to put it. And I see my buying power keeps getting eroded these days. And I greatly appreciated Michael's comments about things. I didn't take a lot of it in, but I was imagining a larger group where I wouldn't be on the spot so much.
Oh yeah,
So,
no. I was hoping to have kind of just a roundtable discussion on this. Like, everybody has different ideas, and hopefully we can learn from each other, type of thing. So, and we're recording this. You can go back and experience Michael's wisdom all over again.
okay, good. Thank you. That's,
Sure. And
yes.
I wouldn't call that lazy money investing. I think we call that buy and hold.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Well, but there's some other stuff on the side that I keep. Oh, I should this and that, and it's like, eh, my mother's inheritance some time back. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you.
Good.
Thank
No,
you.
glad to have you here.
No, it's awfully nice to talk to people without them having a financial incentive behind their suggestions. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
thank you.
And if you ever are through Fresno, Clovis, we also meet in person once a month, like 2 weeks from now, type of thing, usually later in the
Yes.
month. So
Yes. Yeah,
always
I'll
welcome
put
to
that
that
on my
too.
calendar. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey,
Cool.
Ray,
Yes.
don't feel bad about buying at 70 because we're at 120, so you're 80% above. But keep in mind that Michael Saylor is still buying. I mean, he's bought in the 90s and the 110s. So, when it gets to be 200 or 300 or 400, you're going to go, wow, I wish I'd bought more at 70.
Mm.
Don't you think?
Well, it makes perfect sense, and this is why I wanted to catch this confidence and go ahead and take some actions based on that. It's the right thing to do. And it's rather volatile, the entire economy and how things are going. But I like Michael's comments about what do you say? Whenever there's a recession, no, whenever there's
Whenever
Rate
they're
whenever.
cutting.
cutting rates, they're at least from what I've read,
Mm,
whenever the Fed is cutting interest rates and they're in a cutting cycle now, there has never been a recession. I mean, you
got
can
it.
have a little bit slower GDP and so forth, but a recession, which is 2 quarters in a row of negative growth, um, that's never happened before. Look it up. You guys can find it on your own, but it is out there. So
Interesting.
I don't know. For me, my business, and I just get what's ahead. And so, like I said, we have an administration that is very, very pro business and is doing everything, cutting regulations. We're cutting rates. We're stopping wars and things where money's going to go out, for things like that. Maybe that's not great for the defense companies, but I don't invest in those. But there's just so many other things that are going to be, gas is a lot cheaper, not necessarily around here, but it's a lot cheaper. And so that helps
Mm.
put more money in people's pockets and makes them feel more confident about what's going on in their world. So I
Thank
mean,
you. Yeah.
I look at what I see myself. I don't necessarily always listen to what the pundits have to say because, like you said, Ray, somebody always has an agenda. My agenda is okay. What do things really look like? What is it? Is it real or not real? You know, and then I go from that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good, good. It looks
Yeah.
like
Nice joining you.
Ahmed has jumped in and joined us as well. Good morning, Ahmed. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Very
Morning.
good.
We're just kind of going around the table and kind of sharing some of our investing strategies. They're not always buy the coin, put it in the wallet like we used to do. Anything exciting you're doing or new strategies you've learned to leverage without risk, or maybe leverage with lesser risk?
I mean, I only I only know about dollar cost averaging, but other than that, it's I'm kind of I'm still burnt by the Celsius thing, so I just
Yeah.
finally finished my taxes on that, and I'm still looking to what should I do next.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is I think when we all got started with crypto, I mean, at least I started with small dollar amounts, and so maybe risk was more part of the equation. But then all of a sudden, I kind of realized, hey, this is a real thing, not just something to play with. And so my risk tolerance, went down. And I'm sure your risk tolerance is lower, post Celsius kind of thing. So that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, yeah, we still have a long way to go. Art, did you have anything you want to throw in or questions?
Um, Not really. I'm for a while I was doing swing trading and scalp trading and was doing pretty good, but then I hit a time where things were like flat and going sideways, and I wasn't making any money, and I had to use the funds for something else. But long story short, I'm just holding right now because I believe wealth is coming our way in the next couple of months, and then when it happens, I'm gonna use a lot of those funds to start swing trading and scalp trading again.
Yeah, I'm familiar with swing trading, but tell me about scalp trading.
It's basically like another version of swing trading, only you're taking money out like in increments of 3%, 4%, a lot quicker than swing trading. And to make some decent money, you got to have like maybe $10,000 that you can just have and not touch and let it do what it needs to do.
Okay. But it sounds like that's something you have to actively manage, monitor,
Yeah, you
execute the
do.
trades and that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay. And are you doing that in the crypto space or
Oh yeah, in
equities?
the crypto space.
Okay. Okay. How many different coins or tokens
Um, I
are,
have about
are you
10
doing?
different coins, but my main coin is like XRP and Solana, and then a couple meme coins like Pepe coin. I made a nice amount of money with that. Um, so yeah.
Okay. So you are doing it in the crypto space and actively doing it. I was thinking another way that we're investing that keeps coming up is investing for income or the staking, you know, is something that we didn't have the ability to do a whole lot a few years ago, but now that's gotten more and more popular. Um,
Yeah, we talked about that during the last meeting,
yeah,
staking.
yeah, and people are looking for staking because they want, some income and want to hold the coins as well. I think that to me, there's still like a balance between do you want a coin that you're going to earn 3 or 4% on, which to me isn't that exciting in the crypto space, or do you want a coin that's going to grow like we've seen in Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and it doesn't seem like there's too many that do both, um, as far as that goes. I mean, that would be the ideal situation, but you could only imagine what they'd have to do for the staking to be able to keep up 4 or 5% if the coin's going up 5% a month on average. Because to maintain that return, it's going to have to earn more and more, even though when the cost of the token or coin is going up. So, Gabe, any ideas? I know you do a lot of stuff with the newer coins. You always seem to be looking at. Is that still working out pretty well?
Yeah, I haven't bought anything. The only thing that I bought was I asked for that new coin
Oh,
XYO
okay.
layer one, which is because it's kind of new and trying to transfer it to a wallet, but the wallet wasn't working, so I'm having issues with that. But other than that, yeah, just that's the only thing that I bought recently.
Okay. So have you kind of
Just
slowed down a little bit relative to a few years ago as far as
yeah,
new
yeah,
coins?
because
Okay.
what's happening is it's a lot of new coins coming out, and they're taking over the older market because of the technology, right? Uh, what we're hearing about, so which is a good thing. Uh, comparing Solana with Ethereum, so Solana's just overtaken, but the problem with that is Ethereum has a bigger e-commerce, so it's really hard to beat. And they're using Ethereum all over the place, but they're adapting to like layer one, right? To make it to work. They're always helping Ethereum piggyback, as you could say. But we just have to wait and see what the market looks like in another year, 2 years, 5 years. As
Yeah, and it seems like, these huge companies, the Microsofts and the Chase and those kind of companies, they're doing more and more on Ethereum because that's kind of maybe the gold standard for smart contracts and that kind of thing. But for guys like us that are, I consider myself and probably most of us small players in the crypto space, and we're concerned about transaction fees and that kind of thing. So Solana, it seems to be more appealing there, but maybe it's not appealing for the bigger, the smaller startups are on Solana and doing things there, but they don't have the deep pockets of the big guys that are using Ethereum. So there's almost kind of two levels there.
well, the banks are not using Ethereum. People, I keep telling people that they're not. Just the reason for that is Ethereum's slow and it's broken. So you're not seeing big banks using it, and the reason is because they don't want to lose the money. We're talking about billion-dollar transfers. Who wants to lose a billion customers, $100 million? They're not going to use it. So they're using some Solana, and the main core is XRP. XRP is the core of transferring money to bigger banks.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're not using Ethereum.
Well, I'm
People
kind of
say,
referring to like there's the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance that I don't know how many companies are involved, but at one time they hit like 500, and so that was a big number for them. And this is like probably 3 years ago, and it's
mhm.
the Microsofts and Nike and GM and those kind of companies that were kind of working together to build and develop on Ethereum. But yeah, the banks, and it seems like the banks are almost wanting to do their own thing, whether that's their own, a private internal chain. We've heard of that a little bit, but that doesn't really make sense in the big picture. But their goal now seems to be to come out with their own stable coin
Yeah,
and see where that
using their
goes.
own, yeah, using
But
their own
then
blockchains.
the question is, what network is that stable coin going to be on? Ethereum or XRP, Solana, that kind of thing. And I know Solana's Tim at our in-person meeting keeps, ragging on Solana. It's like, the whole blockchain's gone down 4 or 7 times, in the last 24 or 12 months kind of thing. And I've never heard of any other chain crashing, so to speak, which doesn't inspire confidence,
True. True.
you
Hey,
know.
Brad, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to have to go within 5 minutes, but um, you just mentioned you just had a brief conversation about the banks, and it looked to me, but I didn't have a lot of time when I saw it to research it. Are the banks fighting the stablecoin passage in the U.S. Senate? It looked like I saw on Twitter or X. I saw um, some of the crypto guys are having people sign a letter or kind of trying to overcome. And it's one of the big players. I can't remember which one is putting their money in. It could have been the guy from Coinbase. I can't remember for sure, but he said that the banks are starting to fight the stablecoin passage in the U.S. Senate. Has anybody heard anything about that? Because I was anticipating that that would be done by Thanksgiving, but has anybody else heard anything more about the Stablecoin Act update? I mean, we've got the Genius Act done. Now
Right.
stablecoin is in front of the Senate. Anybody heard anything on that?
Well, the Genius Act, that was the stablecoin one. Was there another one?
Oh, what? Yeah, there is another one. What is the House
Clarity Act.
passed? What's that?
It's the Clarity Act, I think you're talking about.
Clarity. Okay. The House passed three of them. If you remember, the House passed three of them. One,
Right.
the Senate passed Genius first. Then the House passed three, including Genius. So that one got done. And now the other two, and you're right, maybe it's the Clarity Act, went back to the Senate now. And Senator Lummis from Wyoming kind of took the lead on that. But I haven't heard hide nor hair of that. At one point, Trump said he wanted it done in September. Well, we're already in October. But I just didn't know. It looked to me, like I said, without a lot of research, that the banks were fighting the Senate to not pass it in its current condition.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything specific, but that was, the Clarity is the one that establishes the framework to say, okay, these are commodities and these are digital assets, and let the SEC handle one and the CFTC handle the other. Just so we know, it's kind of like, so let's set up the rules. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, unless there's something they want to add or there's something
Well,
hidden.
my understanding is that the banks are opposed to stable coins offering rewards or yields. Like, so for example, if you have a stable coin and they're giving you 4% guaranteed, like the like USDC, for example, that's that's what their contention is. They don't want these stable coins to be able to provide rewards, is what I've been hearing.
Because then that would kind of compete with the banks and say, savings
Exactly.
accounts and that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think that, I think that's separate from the Clarity Act, but I could definitely see, I totally agree with you, Art, that that's why they would be fighting it. Except they seem to be coming out with their own. So if they're going to come out with their own in a year, they could just compete that way, which I I don't know. Um, but maybe they don't want the other ones to get too much of a head start. I mean, I just saw US, Tether bought, I don't, Michael, did you see it was like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin or something? I'm just like, crap. I don't know how much what the market cap of USDT is. Maybe I can look it up here. But
That's kind of interesting that they would actually do that. I mean, their whole idea is to kind of stay tethered to the dollar.
right, but they're allowed to buy Bitcoin as backing, which yeah, but if the Bitcoin goes down, then they lose out. But
That's my point, is
yeah,
that the dollar does go down, up and down, but not in the dramatic ways that Bitcoin does. I mean, what
right.
was it? 6 weeks ago, we were at 124,000, and then we went down to what, 90 something thousand, and now we're back to 122. I mean, that's not really something you can hang your hat on if you're looking for the word stable.
Right, right.
I mean, it's good because there's volatility and you can make money off of that, but it's not really stable if you're trying to park something and you lose you know fractions of a percentage.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well, it looks
much
like
more
the
stable.
market cap is 176 billion. So if they did, spend $1 billion on Bitcoin, that's,
That's
less.
a very tiny amount,
Yeah, yeah. But it just to
but
me,
it's
I'm
still funny
thinking,
that they did that.
whoever owns it or something, the potential leverage they might get against the dollars that are coming in to buy. I don't, it's just fascinating. But yeah. And then BNB has been on a run. I mean, yeah. I keep getting alerts. BNB hit a new high. BNB hit a new high. So that's good to see what another good chain for smart contracts. Okay, cool. Anthony, I don't think we heard from you. Any comments or questions? Good ideas, strategies for us?
Honestly, nothing really at the moment. I've been kind of on the mellow side with doing a lot of crypto investment. It's been more of if I see kind of close to peaks in any of the tokens that I regularly trade, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and take a little bit of profit and then go ahead and wait until I see another dip and then pop back in. Honestly, I'm usually running more off of like macro cycles than anything else. I feel like I guess I've gotten a little jaded with following anything having to do with the actual tokens themselves for trying to find price points because it feels like half the time nothing comes of those. Like the thing will happen, but the price won't change. And I'm like, okay, I'll just wait for a macro event and then buy or sell based on that.
Yeah, because by the time we hear the news, it's baked into the price type of thing.
That or even just people not really buying into it because of fundamentals, but they're just buying into it because of macro cycles.
Okay.
Just like with stocks, honestly. Like I
Right.
feel like a lot of the events aren't really doing anything. It's just Fed speak is the only thing that really changes much.
Yeah. So then do you feel that the crypto space isn't as quote unquote different as it used to be, separate from equities, and it's like now it's just a kind of another version of equities or equities
I
2.0?
mean, if you focus on if you focus on price movements, yes, it's detached from actual fundamentals, which is exactly like stocks. Um, but if you look at it on the basis of like what kind of things they utilize it for, it, that's a variable. Many cryptos, there's little to no use, or the use cases are very niche or, in all honesty, kind of pointless. Um, but then there's a number of them that have an actual use case, and you're like, okay, these ones should be doing well, and you just see flat price movements. You're like, yeah, this still has a little bit of that tinge of like equity market.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of not doing anything, Doge is still up there. Um, it's like, has anybody heard they're doing,
Uh,
I mean, they're number 8 on the market cap, and it's like, what
why?
exactly? And it's only
Well,
because so many people hold it that the prices, stayed where it's at, or, it hasn't tanked, so to speak.
I think it's just a news piece. It's like whenever someone important, primarily Elon Musk, does anything having to do with Doge or Doge gets mentioned in any way by anyone famous, it's like, oh, okay, price goes up. But there's no real price going down because everybody's just like, I'm just not going to sell it. My only assumption there.
Yeah. Have you heard anything lately? I don't remember hearing much on Doge for a long time.
No, there hasn't been much since if I remember right, the price did pop back up, even though it wasn't really mentioning Doge. As soon as Elon Musk came back from doing politics and basically technically said he was never going to do politics again, I think that's when that started to change a little bit and price went up again. But it's like it has nothing to do with anything having to do with Doge. So why bother?
Yeah, maybe because it's so cheap on a per coin basis that people are like, I'll just keep it, whether, everybody's got 75 bucks worth of it or something, and they're like, I'll just
Yeah.
keep it instead of, won't sell it or something. But I mean, its market cap, the next one below it is Tron, and Tron does a ton of stuff with smart contracts, more in Asia and that kind of thing. But I mean, Tron is being used for all kinds of things. But
Well,
yeah,
and it's kind of like looking at a number of other ones. I mean, you could say similar things to like Cardano or even a number of ones on the Ethereum network. And it's just it's surprising that many of these don't have higher price swings and price action, but it just goes to show it's like it's not really it's divorced from the actual fundamental or the use case
Or
scenario.
functionality, yeah, use case functionality. Okay. Do you think the part of the problem is there's so many coins as well? I mean, I don't even know how many, there's 2 million or what?
Too many to count. I mean, that
Yeah.
is probably a huge part of it is the sheer number of coins, but I think that has more to do with the price swings for, say, like the average investor, the one that like doesn't really invest, but is just kind of like, oh, I'm going to put some money into a random coin because it looks like it's going to do well, versus the people who like follow crypto, or even the people who are at least familiar with like buying and selling stocks for actual fundamentals. Um, I think it's more of those people that are kind of holding the price in place for some of the ones that should be going higher and should be more connected to their actual functionality, because they're just putting money into a bunch of random coins instead of putting into ones that actually have some kind of use case.
Right, right. And there's so many that they can potentially choose from those random coins that it doesn't affect, there's not enough of them in one coin to really move it unless there's a big social media push behind a coin or a YouTuber or something like that. So, yeah.
There's, it just feels, it almost feels pointless to follow fundamentals for most of these projects because they don't seem to impact price, which is the focus of the investment. So I'm like, I'll just follow macro.
And then you play that with just the bigger coins, like in the top 15
Yeah,
market cap,
usually
15, 20. Okay.
every once in a great while I'll try to pick one that's a little bit on the like less popular side, but I haven't had much luck with those, to be honest.
Yeah, there's just too many now. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, there was, significantly less. And so some of those that came out, we saw some decent action, at least for a week or two, maybe kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. And you're doing it directly with buying the coins. You're not doing any ETFs or anything. And
no. I mean, I like the idea that Michael brought up earlier of doing like the leveraged ETFs. Those
Mhm.
would be probably more of a preference if I did do ETFs, but I'm like, if I'm going to invest in it, I might as well just invest in the actual coin, because
Right.
then at least on the back end, I have control and use of the coin. If more for me is like a stopgap in case traditional finances fail, shall we say?
Right, right. And that's always been in the back of my mind too. And the thing, I mean, that's the huge use case for crypto in general type of thing. So, but maybe
Yeah.
crypto will be in place enough to pick up that potential crash and it won't be as noticeable. Because I mean, we may be able to buy oranges and a gallon of milk or something and trade Bitcoin or Litecoin or Solana with our neighbor or the farmer down the street, but the rest of society is going to be screwed, and so we're still going to be screwed. So it's
Yeah,
not like I'm
fair
wishing
point.
for that. So
Exactly. It's just more of a safety stopgap.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Any other thoughts you guys have or hurdles you're trying to get over? Roadblocks?
I, I just I just want to put out there that I just heard earlier today that Walmart has an app and they're going to start allowing purchases using cryptocurrencies. It's beginning with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I think eventually they're going to add like XRP and some other tokens to it as well. So and that's becoming before the end of this year.
So that's in there just regular Walmart app that you use to, shop online and that kind of thing?
Um, I believe so. Yeah, I just heard the announcement today, and I think it's called Walmart One app, something like that. But that's a good sign that crypto is being adopted right now at a very fast pace.
It's called OnePay.
Yeah, OnePay.
Oh, OnePay. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
reading about that. Yeah, and how
it's a fintech arm of
yeah,
Walmart.
oh, OnePay is okay. Okay, okay. I was reading where I mean Coinbase, I mean, hopefully you still have some of their stock, Michael. I think some people bought their stock. I never did. But they just keep coming out with these announcements. It's like every time they do, I just keep thinking they're that much farther ahead in this whole crypto game. But this one was a deal with Samsung to put uh, Coinbase on 75 million of their smartphones, and those smartphone users were going to get, is it Coinbase One, that premium trading service for free, using it on their phones. And then in exchange, kind of as part of the deal, is Coinbase was going to accept Samsung Pay as a payment option to purchase coins, on their platform, just like normally you link a bank account or a debit card kind of thing.
Right.
So, I mean, 75 million, that's just in the US. So,
Well, this is the type of thing that I've been waiting for a while. In that you're taking major retail outlets, Walmart, Amazon, places like that, where you have huge millions and millions, tens, if not hundreds of millions of people now have the opportunity to use that. And then they get incentivized, perhaps they'll give them $10 free, Coinbase, you can still go on Coinbase. I think it's $30 now, right? I think, you sign up to Coinbase, you get $30 in free crypto. It used to be 10, but 10 doesn't really matter much nowadays.
with
Uh,
inflation, right?
yeah. And the fact that, I was getting $10 when I signed up in Bitcoin, but it was $2,200 a coin. So, but this adoption by somewhere like Walmart, and again, Amazon, those are the two biggest that I could think of. Costco would be another. Um, those would be, those would be very helpful in getting greater adoption by the average person that's out there, not necessarily the 9 or 10 of us, but people out there like our moms and dads or cousins or brothers and sisters or the milkman, if there is such a critter, uh, adopting crypto or understanding what it is. I still have people, I've been talking to them for 8 years, and it's still like, well, I just don't know. It's so this. And I go, it's not hard. Now you can buy it in your 401k like you would buy Walmart or that you would buy Boeing or Nvidia or whatever. It's very, very simple to do that. Um, so anyhow, I think that's good news. Thank you, Art, for bringing that up.
Yeah, and I think Art also said the term rewards when he was mentioning stable coins, and I've seen that come up where that's a big plus to use a stable coin because it's that much easier to track and to put rewards on a blockchain network. Um, so if like Walmart wanted to give 2% back or that kind of thing, they can just do it all on the blockchain and it, becomes very easy there.
You know, if Coinbase has got put that card out yet, Brad?
I
They had
don't
a new card that was coming out.
I don't think so. It was going to be a credit card this time, and
Right.
because they have the debit card, and I
Yeah,
was
this is
using
going to be a
that, but then
credit
it
card.
stopped working. But yeah, I still
That was
know
supposed to
that.
come out like end of September, early October. So
Oh, is it been? Maybe it was a while since we talked, and the while has caught up. Um, wow.
it's on, Ray.
Yeah, I just Googled it here and it says Coinbase has two cards, the Coinbase One card, a credit card with Bitcoin rewards, and a Coinbase credit debit card that spends crypto from your balance. It sounds like it's already live.
That's good. I need to get
Cool.
that because I put like 200 grand a year on my credit cards. I rotate it through, so I could get. What's the percentage that it pays? Does it say?
It says how to get 4% back on
4%.
Coinbase. Well, now that's probably just a tier 4. Let's see. It says that if the AOC is equal to or greater than $200,000, the 4% rewards rate applies to the first $10,000 in eligible purchases per month, with
Okay.
a 2% rewards rate for all eligible purchases in excess of 10,000 per month.
Okay.
So it's not an awesome deal, but and it says how to get $200 free from Coinbase. It's probably referral bonuses. So if you get it, refer
Yeah.
all of us, and then you'll
I'll
get more.
refer all of you. Hey, Brad, you know how to do that referral stuff, don't you?
Exactly, exactly. And sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. Now, I don't know. I know David turned me on to the Gemini card, the Gemini credit
Mm,
card. I th thought I
yeah.
shared that with you guys, and so they give a $200 bonus, and I didn't realize I was getting. All of a sudden, I logged in, and my accounts, I did like $100 trade just to like, hey, I'm here, whatever, and then I've just been getting the Bitcoin rewards after every transaction. It's not a month; it's just every transaction. And then it like jumped up, and I had $200 more. They gave me $200 just for like becoming a customer of the card, and they're paying 4% on gas was the big one, that I actually use. Some of these things you don't, use, but then 3% at restaurants, and fast food, sit down, whatever kind of thing, and then 2% on something, and then 1% on everything else. So take a look at that one as well. That, at Gemini.com is, the exchange and all that. But yeah, I have to look at that one too. And I think
And
I've
I
been
do.
in it. I've only been using it, I think 45 days or so, maybe a hair. Yeah, 45 days, and I've already earned like $280 in rewards. But the $280 is actually like $310 because of the price of Bitcoin has gone up. So I try to use it on pretty much everything because I figure even if I earn 25 cents on something, pretty soon that's going to be $2.50.
Yeah,
You
that's the
know.
difference between the rewards you get. Uh, I get a lot of gift cards and things like that over the year. Over the years, I've gotten, I don't know, 10 or $20,000 in gift cards because, like I said, I rotate a lot of credit cards through there. Buy something, pay it off in a week or 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So I rotate a lot through the cards. But I see what Anthony's saying, the $200, a lot of credit cards are just like that, where you'll get a bonus 200, 500, whatever, if you spend five or 3 to 5 or $10,000 in a certain time period. But Brad, I do still own Coinbase, and I also own a derivative of it, which is back to the options. It pays it's a stock that pays money from Coinbase options. So people they own the Coinbase, they sell the options. That premium is the income that comes into this company. So the more people that are buying options in Coinbase, and it pays like, okay, the thing is only like $7 or $8, but every month I get like 7 or 8% return every month.
Wow.
So it's
What is
paying
that?
more than 100% a year.
Yeah, what is that
So
one?
that one is, I think that's CNY, but let me double check on that. And that one's a little volatile. It's kind of a cheap little one. It's just, I've just got a few hundred shares of that. I don't have much in it because I put it other places, but it's CONY,
CO.
Yield Max Coin Options. It's an ETF and it is directly related to Coinbase. CONY. And it's 740.54. And I think I've owned it for like 2 or 3 months, and I've gotten back. So I mean, I only spent per 100 shares. I only spent like 750 or $8 for it, right? And I've already gotten back in 3 months almost like $270 in dividends.
Wait, it's an equity or it's an option?
It's an ETF. It's an equity.
It's an ETF.
Their thing is that their
Okay.
business plan is that they sell options, And when you sell an option,
Right. No, I
you're
get,
getting
yeah,
that
yeah.
as a premium, right? They own 100 for every 100 shares of Bitcoin of Coinbase, they can sell the options against that. So when they do that, and let's say they get $500 for an option, that's income that's coming into them. And then
Right,
if
right.
they're buying selling thousands of those every month or every week or whatever they do it in. And then so you get just a crazy 120, 140% dividend from them.
And so
So
you're getting those as dividends.
every month
Okay.
for the last 3 months. So I'm slightly lower than what I paid for it initially, but this next month will put me even. And as Bitcoin goes up, Coinbase goes up, this goes up. So,
Got it.
but in a year, I'll own these ETFs for free.
Right, right.
So not only will I get the dividend, but I'll have the asset itself will be whatever it is at the time, $7, $8, $10.
Yeah,
Cool. I have a few $100 or $300 or 300 shares of that.
okay.
It's just a little thing to do. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. I like that one. Cool. And I'll put that in the Google Doc here. I'm experimenting with this Zoom notes as well, just to see how that works. It looks like Jay joined us. Jay, how are you today? Ooh, maybe they're just, oh, let's see, are they muted? Oh, doesn't have a mic. Okay, well, I'm glad you joined us. Um, and feel free to ask any questions or comments in the chat. Good to have you. And Anthony, just to clarify that card, when you said that card, it was the Gemini card.
Yes, the Gemini
Okay,
card.
okay, and that makes sense because I did end up spending 3,000. However, we were just going on a couple of vacations, I guess, or some. Wow, but yeah, no, my
It's
balance did go up pretty quick. Anyway, okay, and then before he left, Steve dropped a link to YouTube, and let me just share this real quick. And this is what he was talking about earlier about Coinbase launches campaign to stop banking industry's efforts to undo provisions of the Genius. So it's like so many double negatives. So it looks like the banking industry is trying to change something in the Genius Act, and Coinbase is trying to stop them. So, and this is just from 3 days ago on that. So thanks to Steve for dropping that in. It's yeah, it's in the comments, and I'll include that in the Google Doc as well. All right. Anything else you guys have going? Want to bring up topics for future meetings, that kind of thing? Let's see. Good point. Yeah, if Coinbase blows up. Yeah, if that happens, we're in a world of hurt.
Yeah, we have a lot more things to worry about than what happens to CONY if
Yeah.
Coinbase blows up.
Yeah, don't put your entire retirement savings in it, but a few bucks here and there
I
might.
will say that that CONY something a vehicle, a financial vehicle like CONY for me is an investment as opposed to the trading that I kind of do going in and out, even if it's just a few months going in and out. I expect to keep CONY for quite some time. For several years as Bitcoin goes up, and I expect it to make me good money because in less than a year it'll be paid for, and then everything after that is complete full gravy. So, and no, there is no percentage down. It's just an ETF like anything else, like a stock. You just buy it like a stock and you're good to go.
But the price of it could go down. I think the
Absolutely.
question,
It's gone down. I own some of it. It's now lower than some of it that I purchased it at. But like I said, this next month I'll have made enough back on the dividends to be even on what I'm down. I'm down. One of them I bought 100 shares, and then I bought another 100 shares, and I bought another 100 shares. The first 100 shares I'm down a little bit on, but I think I bought it at like 9.5, and it's like 715 or 750 now. So I'm down a little bit on that, but this next round will make me even. But in a year or less, all that stock will be paid for by the dividends. And so then not only will I own the stock, but I'll continue to get the dividends. So, but the only way this works is if you hold it for a year or two, and that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah. Now there are there other similar um, companies, ETFs that you found that do the same thing with options for Tesla or Nvidia or anybody
There's
else?
one that does it for, there are, I really haven't looked into them, but I know there's another one. I think it's called Misty, MSTY. I'm not sure. You'd have to check on that. And that's for MicroStrategy, or now it's just called Strategy. So they do a similar thing on that. But I'm just doing this one because I'm doing well on other things, and you know, there's so many opportunities right now in the middle of a bull market that you can't play everything.
Right.
So this is, you know, I'm kind of tapped out. I'm pretty fully invested.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't want to spread yourself too thin where, yeah, yeah. Just pick some good ones and go from there. Oh, there's
Yeah,
thank you.
that
TSLY is
TSLY,
joining
that's
us.
on Tesla.
Okay. Look at all this learning that's going on.
That's why we love you, Brad. You bring us together. We learn more. We earn more. Giddy up.
Exactly. And eat more pizza every month is our goal. And like
Yes, yes.
and
My
who
belly doesn't thank you, but
it's okay. You've got another 29 days in between meetings to deal with that. So it's all good. All right. Any topics you guys want to cover in the future? Any ideas? I know we're still a few months away from having to deal with taxes. So we'll deal with the tax reporting uh, websites and that kind of stuff then. But anything that I almost hate to legislation in crypto. It's important, but it's I don't know. It seems like it's not as exciting as some of these other things. So, okay. Well, if you come up with anything, have any other ideas for topics, shoot me a message, text. Oh, here, just let me put my contact info in here just so you guys have it. You're gonna hit me up. All right, I got that in chat. Cool. I'll give you a few minutes there. Art, any final thoughts?
No, not really. Just appreciate all the information. Oh, and one thing for a possible topic is maybe copy trading, how to make some money doing copy trading.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit, kind of using the bots where you jump onto somebody else's strategy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is there any websites you've seen that do that you like or we should look into
Uh,
or I can research before we talk about it?
Not really. I mean, there's a couple of YouTubers that offer it, and I'm thinking about investing some money with them, but I'm kind of just watching them for a while to see how they're doing, how it goes before I invest.
Yeah, I can't remember it. There's a website that does that and there's a whole marketplace of traders. And we've talked, it's like look back at our previous recordings where we talk about bots. Um, and we've mentioned that site because was definitely an option if you're using a trading bot, you know, you can set it up or use one of these AI ones or whatever, or you can just copy somebody else's. Um, okay, and good question about futures trading on Bitcoin. Anybody doing that? Yeah, maybe too scary. Okay. All right, guys. Well, have a good rest of your day and weekend, and we will see you hopefully in a couple weeks at me and Ed's, and if not, early in November. I think, yeah, we're not don't have to worry about the holiday till the end of the month, so we'll definitely have our pizza meeting before that, and then we'll do the Zoom meeting at the beginning of November. So I will get that up and scheduled as soon as I can. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank